Friday, 2:09 p.m. Shoyo. You left me, bastard. Where have you been? I turned around for a sec, then suddenly, you were gone. Kazu, covered in sweat, rushed over to Kei and Shoyo, exiting the booth. What? Shoyo, you went inside the Shinigami's lair. Shinigami's? It's for thrill seekers and it's hardcore brutal. After the third stage, you can exit or proceed to. It literally screams, bring it on, motherfucker, and you still entered. Good thing, this is our class. I didn't know I was supposed to leave then. Kazu was the one holding the pamphlet. You. Why are you hanging out with this man-tart anyway? Man-tart? I am not a man-tart, you damned hobo. Love, don't talk to strangers, alright? Kei smirked while eyeing Kazu. We don't want, savages, to attack you my sweet. Kei was about to stroke Shoyo's cheek, yet before he could, Kazu yanked Shoyo over to him. This savage, you speak of, is taking the puppy out for a walk, because the owner has been neglecting him for way too long. Don't put him on a leash, then make him watch you pet some other dog. Kei was fully aware of what Kazu had been speaking of. It was about that time, when Kei went to check up on Yamaguchi. I didn't know Kei had a pet. Come on, Ginger. It smells like dog shit in here. Kazu held Shoyo's hand firmly. Kei could feel his blood boiling. He wanted to steal Shoyo away. Does he really have to do that? Kei didn't feel like he had any right to do so. But right now, it seemed like he was only a boyfriend in name. I don't smell anything. You know, the mouth is closest to the nose. Ha? Are you telling me, my breath stinks? Ha 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 ha. I can still smell the onion rings you ate for lunch. Which means you're close enough to smell me breath. Stink breath. Shut up, shorted. Kazu stuck out his tongue. Hinata did the same. Kei watched, as his little love got swept off by a man who isn't him. My love. Forgive me. School Festival, Day 2. Saturday, 3:12 p.m. Shoyo and Kei were assigned to man their volleyball club booth. There was an awkward air between them. They haven't spoken for a while, and when they happened to meet yesterday, it wasn't exactly something considered good. Suga studied the couple, acting so distant to each other, while Daichi watched him. Daichi flickered his gaze to Suga, to where he was looking at, then back to Suga. What is it, sweetheart? These lovebirds are giving me headaches. How so? Since this morning, they keep on stealing glances at each other, but they refuse to connect. Should I step up? I feel like I'm meddling way too much. Not at all. Surely, these boys need motherly advice. Tsukishima's big and grumpy, but he can also be an airhead sometimes, ha 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 ha. Oh please. Apparently, no one wants to hear that from you, Ryu. Ha. I have an idea. Guys, huddle round. Got something to say? Senpai. None of you'll get out of that until you make up. Suga left Shoyo and Kei stuck together inside a tight shirt that says, get along shirt. They stood in the middle of the square inside the school grounds. Surrounded by a large number of booths, people would pause and give them weird looks as they are passing by. This isn't very comfy. It was stuffy inside. The shirt is stretched out just enough for Shoyo's head to pop out. With their height differences, it was even harder for Kei to maintain proper posture. Is that how it is now? Can't stand touching me? Tisk. No, that's not. The events from the day before reverberated inside Kei's head. He couldn't get Kazu's words off of his mind. He was openly neglecting his boyfriend. Kei's completely aware of his actions, yet he got extremely jealous of how close his twin and his lover have become. Kei sighed deeply. He built up his courage and wrapped his free arm around Shoyo's tiny waist. They were close, and now, closer. Kei nuzzled his face on Shoyo's crown. It's been a while since they had such skinship. Your hair smells so nice, like usual. So calming. And you're still a perv. Stop sniffing other people's hair. There's a bunch of watchful eyes. I don't want them to think you're a bad guy. But it's not only that. I only do it to you though. Why are you acting like everything's perfectly normal? Pretending like nothing's going on. Shoyo gritted his teeth, his fist clenched. He was so tempted to elbow Kei's vulnerable stomach, but he refrained himself from doing so. You've been ignoring me for the past few weeks, let me just leave that here. You always pull me up just to bring me down. One thing, you're sweet. Then next thing, you're not. You tell me stuff like you trust me with your life and then shut me down completely the next day. What the fuck do you want me to do? I don't get you at all. I can't read minds, Kei. If you don't tell me, I won't know what's happening. I won't know what it is that's bothering you. Is it because I'm not Yamaguchi? Shoyo. Because we aren't best friends. That's why you kept on hiding things from me. This has nothing to do with him. Please. Believe me. I'm doing this to protect you. Protect me? Kei looked around. Shoyo's voice turned up. It was raising a few eyebrows. Protect me from what, Kei? It's nothing. What are you still so afraid of? I have to stay away, to stay with you. You're not making any sense. It's complicated. Our relationship isn't as simple as you think. Tell me. Kei tightened his grip on Shoyo's waist. Tomorrow, by the last pyre. Kei's eyes met Shoyo's. Would you like to dance with me? Hinata's heart jumped. Oh, how much he'd love to. Is this another trick? You're not giving me false hopes again, are you? Kei shook his head. Can you promise you're not gonna bail on me the last second? Shoyo was hesitant. Shoyo wanted to get everything out of Kei right now, but he figured timing is just as important. Will you tell me then? Kei rubbed his thumb on Shoyo's side and smiled softly. I will. Shoyo pursed his lips. He missed Kei so badly, the closeness is driving him nuts. Kei. Can we kiss? Kei was taken aback by his sudden request. If you meant everything you said. Can we seal it with a kiss? It took Kei a few seconds to answer, which made Shoyo antsy. We're out in public, silly. Do you hate it that much? What? Other people knowing about us? Well. I never really thought about it. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal? It's fine. But it'll be bad if we kissed right now. There are so many students and teachers passing by. Tisk. I really want you all to myself, it's making me upset. Shush, Shoyo. Kei covered his face using the other hand. Shoyo fretting made Kei want to pounce on him. If it weren't for the situation they were in. I am all yours, Shoyo. You know that, right? Shoyo sighed. It wasn't exactly the response he was looking for. But it will have to do. The awkwardness and tension between them was unbearable. A sharp pain hit Kei when he caught Shoyo's disappointed look. He needs to do something or he won't be able to forgive himself if this goes any longer. Do you want to come over later tonight? God, I really wish it's not too late to ask. I'd rather die than receive his rejection. Kei averted his eyes and scratched his chin. His bashfulness showed no matter how hard he tried to hide it. Shoyo's eyes sparkled. Shoyo wasn't exactly happy about not being able to find answers, but he was satisfied to know that Kei wants to be around him as much as Shoyo does. Well. If you insist. From afar stood Daichi, watching over the lovebirds. Suga, assisting the sales, paused when Daichi hollered. Oh. What is it? Daichi nodded his head towards Kei and Shoyo's direction. You're not thinking of something perverted, are you? Kei side-glanced Shoyo. How indecent. I wouldn't dare. Thanks to Kei's suggestion, it became impossible for Shoyo's mind to keep out perverted thoughts. Kei's effort to break the ice was well rewarded. Now, Shoyo's blushing profusely all to himself, in which Kei found amusing to watch. Kei folded his fingers, except for the index, and playfully poked on Shoyo's side, making him jolt and shriek. Shoyo remained still. Or stiff, rather. Kei cracked a smile. Wanting to tease his lover more, he poked once again, making Shoyo twitch. Kei put a hand over his mouth to keep himself from laughing at Shoyo's cute reactions. He could see Shoyo crunching up his nose. I am so gonna smack this guy if he... Just as Shoyo anticipated, Kei poked his side gently but with more force. Shoyo squealed, which caught most of their teammates' attention, as well as the supposedly busy crowds. Now, everyone's looking. Shoyo covered his mouth immediately and glared at Kei. Kei shrugged with a smirk he didn't bother to hide. When Shoyo eased, and everyone thought it was nothing to sneeze at, Kei thought this moment was perfect. Kei unfolded his right palm, positioned it just before Shoyo's belly and dug his fingers deep into the flesh, shaking them, pinching and squeezing. Shoyo panted, biting his lips so as not to let his laugh leak out with the built-up sensitivity from earlier. Kei. Shoyo crouched as Kei's frantic skittering fingers danced up and down his belly. Shoyo burst into giggles as Kei tickled him persistently, with his slender hands. Wahahahaha. Kake yahahaha. Shoyo was throwing fits of laughter. The crowd witnessed the closeness of the two, making a few redden to their ears. Shoyo caught Kei's with his free hand, but he's far too superior in terms of force. It wasn't nearly enough to stop Kei. Shoyo was restrained, his body pressed against Kei's bare skin as Kei continued teasing him. Niahahaha, God. Stop it, wahahaha, hashishesha. Others chuckled along, as his contagious laughter began to spread. Shoyo could do nothing but shake his head. His laughter echoed. His toes curled as his right hand banged on Kei's shoulder, in hopes of making him stop. Shoyo was hyperventilating, his face became redder and damper than before. He tried speaking, yet nothing but fountains of giggles erupted from his lips. Kei couldn't help but spaz out and join Shoyo laughing. Ha 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 ha. The seemingly endless tickle session led to Shoyo's uncontrollable sputter of chortles. The usually poised Tsukishima Kei guffawed at the sight of Shoyo. Shoyo snorted when he heard Kei's goofy laugh. Kei laughed even harder just as Shoyo snorted. It reached the point where they were both laughing so hard, silent ha-has decided to replace them. Soon, everyone's eyes were theirs. It was a sight to behold. Kei halted and coughed a little when he noticed the stares. Shoyo caught his breath as he wiped happy tears off his eyes. He was still chuckling when Kei grabbed his face and made him look at Kei. Kei-chan? What's the matter? And before Shoyo could end his sentence, Kei pressed his lips against Shoyo's. The crowd gasped. Shoyo was wide-eyed. He couldn't believe what was happening. Kei is kissing him in public right after he told him it was a bad idea. While everyone is looking. Shoyo tapped on Kei's face repeatedly, even more than when he was getting tickled. Jeez. At least give me time to recover from all the laughing. One surprise attack after the other is no fair. Kei didn't stop. Instead, his kisses deepened. Shoyo gave up and indulged himself with Kei. Murmurs grew louder and Shoyo could feel the cold stares. Kei planted a soft kiss on Shoyo's lips to end it. Kei. Why? People were looking. Doesn't matter. What? It pained me to see you so frustrated when I dodged the kiss, I couldn't hold it in. Shoyo felt the butterflies in his stomach flutter wildly. I believe myself to have a strong sense of control. Seems like I was mistaken. I held back for as long as I can cause I don't want you to get into any trouble. Especially here, at school. It was for my sake. Kissing you. Touching you. Everything. Of course I want to do it with you. Gee. Shoyo looked at him with curious eyes. I told you, didn't I? Shoyo scratched the back of his head as if the gesture would help recall what he forgot. If you keep acting cute like that, I wouldn't mind doing it in front of 7.6 billion people in the world. And I have no plans on sharing. All blood rushed to Shoyo's head. His body tingled from embarrassment. His heart thumped frenziedly inside his tiny cage. Thanks, but I didn't ask you to do all that. Because I want to kiss you and be kissed by you, too. Kei chuckled. Suga-senpai told me to be mindful, so I lessened our skinship in public. You call that less? I was deprived of Kei's love. I didn't think you'd throw a fit about it, ha ha ha. It's not funny. But I'll forgive you just this once. Kei leaned his forehead on Shoyo's and spoke softly. When we get home, we're doing whatever you want to. Say the word and it shall be done. Kei playfully winked at Shoyo. His warmth lifted Shoyo's spirits. Both of them thought of how lucky they were to be in each other's presence. Talk about possessiveness. He's like a lion marking his territory. Now, everyone would be too afraid to make a move on Shoyo. And Kei. That French fry is a lady killer. Seriously. Tsukishima's just too bold. With all that attention, even I feel sorry for Hinata. You do? But kissing him in front of a crowd. And at a school, no less. That's just amazing. Admirable. Or stupid. Smells like trouble. They look ridiculous, kissing while stuck together in a shirt. Suga chuckled. In all honesty, he was happy. Not everyone could be as proud as Kei's eye-opening valiant display of affection. Looks like they made up. Daichi tapped Suga's shoulder lightly. You did it again.